Hi everyone, Coyote here. Let me just fix the light. I think the volume is on high. Um, kind of wanted to just do something different because I really was feeling a little bit tired and not as prepared as I thought I would be to come on and share an energy transmission or a card reading. But I thought I would talk about my cards and show them to you, the new ones that I got. I don't think I showed them completely. Um, Oops, what is going on here? Sorry, I'm just trying to set this up. It's not going that well. Okay, let's try that. So behind me is my new tapestry that I got. And I've been drawn to this tree image. I don't know if you can see it that good. I'll take this off. I was wearing it shorter today, so hopefully I can undo this. So welcome whoever's listening to this. It's probably not going to be as long of a chat, I don't think. But I've been really drawn to this tree image. Whether you want to, it's not. I don't consider it family tree. I consider it the tree of life, and you could say tree of knowledge, Joshua tree, the tree of life connected to the Judaic tree of life. Okay, this is going to take a little bit longer than I thought. I had done this in such a way, I'd done this in such a way that I could get it off easy, but I didn't think I was going to be actually dealing with this camera. Here we go. So, this is the tree. Okay. Try to get it at a good angle. And then the other side, show it against the black. So you've got a quartz crystal, and this one is just plain. I have another one, had a little bit more than quartz on it, but so there's the roots and the top of the tree, which is kind of like that. I'm really called to this tree symbol, and I love this author, Cheryl Yambarek Rose. She's a spiritual artist who's traveled the world, gone to many continents, studied different world religions, interprets what she has seen in places, not merely in its traditional form, but also in its mythological form. And I really love her approach, her style. And she's an individual that I feel is very, her intent for you is mine. Her intent is that you reach your full destiny, that you are assisted on the path to your highest destiny. So this guidebook is a little bit shorter. There are 52 cards in here. It is a black and white rendering. And there's a little bit again about her. And she's, this is a complement which can be used with the other deck I have, which is through the Starstream Oracle. But I just feel she's very integral and noble, and her images are kindly, uplifting. For me, they're coming to speak to me at this time in ways that sometimes the cards themselves are duality. While they hold the most light and nobility, there are several cards for me that also hold, in doing a reading for you, that they may remember to use discernment, because there may be that little bit of intrigue around you, deceit, maybe it's even your own shadow lingering, which is not meant to be a bad thing. It's just it's going to be insightful to teach you to embrace every side of you, but do some shadow work or do some inner work to uplift yourself and know your value and your worth. But I don't even know, because I used these the last time, if they're really all in order. I'm going to think not completely in order. And no, they're not. But her cards are beautifully vivid. They're the mystique and or individual representation of the area of the theme of the card. Um, Angel has a little bit of a concern on her face. Sorrow, worry, not stern, but very solemn, like, and this one is reveal the truth that has long been hidden. And this is like an urgency almost for her to show up for you or me and to step into truth, or to be aware, to be open to that truth that has long been hidden. Love with an open heart. Her eyes, so the eyes are important. That's right. That's the name of the deck, Eyes of the Soul. Is there two here? Yeah, they're stuck together. They're so new. Now, the next card, I actually had a conversation with her about it, and I wasn't sure I wasn't quite in agreement, but when she sent me the message, I could feel the authenticity and truth behind how she feels about her work. And so in this rendering of this card, which is Weave Your Destiny, this particular goddess, I believe she is part of the spider goddess, and I can't say the name correctly. It's Arane, which has to do in connection with, so Ariadne, Ariadne. But anyway, her name comes from arachnid, or spider who spins a web. So also has to do with storytelling and the truth of things and holding things in place, and the spirituality of the truth of things and holding things in place or telling things in place. For example, this arm is up to heaven, basically up to the sky. This one is down to the earth, which, if you think of Sufi masters, they would have a hand up and a hand down, be more like on an angle. Can't do it. And they would spin and spin and spin, and like hours. I mean, in a show, they might just show you for 20 minutes to 45 minutes, but even in your observing this is a spiritual time for you. It's a meditative time. But anyway, so I asked her about it because it didn't seem like one was way up in the heaven and one was way down. But in this particular rendering, and this card and its origin, that is exactly what this depicts. She has her spiel, her weaving the truth of the tale up toward heaven, and anchoring toward earth. The finger cast, the hand cast downward. So I like that. You don't get a message answer right away, but this author does write you back. I mean, not long answers, but certainly very helpful. And I would like to question more as I go along. And I'm glad she's available at least for one or two questions here and there, because it's really kind of nice to be able to have that. But even if you look at, I mean, they're just vivid and lovely and ethereal. And here's a seek the guide with noble ideas. If I see if we can get his eyes a little bit better. Luminous eyes. almost green, like the passage, right? A true guide on the white horse. And then there's another guide in front of a tree. So it's I'm really looking forward to going through this deck more. Create and activate your DNA. We're all going through that right now. And also, if you get to see this, we're into 10 minutes right now, and you have questions that you want me to answer, I answer through automatic writing and also with the cards. That one was guard and protect the sacred waters of life. I really didn't have a specific question, but I thought I would. I mean, we're at Saturday night. It would have been nice to do this on Friday, but we are in a place that we would probably ask, giving us a card for the weekend energies. Like, if you're seeing this just for fun. Now, I'm not going to read anything upside down just because I'm shuffling them kind of weird. They're really, really stiff, and so I'd have to play with them to get more broken in to shuffle them, and they're bigger than my hand. So I'm going to be picking a card, even if it's just for fun. Normally I will burn my incense and I will prepare myself a little bit better. And I wanted to go through the cards and give us a card that would help us with the weekend, helping us maintain our balance and our optimism and being gentle with ourselves, because there's so much going on. And my point of view is a lot of things are a show, and you really just got to stay open. And I understand so many people are, put the cards down for a second, so many people are going to school. So they're basically just learning stuff that's going to be spit back. And it's just pretty much, no matter how much information knowledge is out there, it's got pretty much a confined grouping of ideas to give a particular answer for this moment, but it's not the true moment. It's past. So many books college people are studying out of, they may have come out a year ago or 6 months ago, but it's information from the past. And in their particular field, it's old information. They're they're learning historical information, whether it's 5, 10, 45 years old, has nothing to do with this now time and mastery. They're spitting back information. They're keeping young people on a program to get this mark and jump through hoops. A program of a limitation, still basing so much of their next step life on old stuff, of small funnel of information. We don't have colleges and universities and learning situations really set up yet for an advancement of understanding energy, frequency, vibration, manifesting reality, co-creating, creating within the stuff that creates worlds that's in between my face here and my face there. This space is moving. Space moves. And that's how we transport, in many ways, your body to another place, because we're able to move the molecules in a perfect, wonderful machine era. The scramblization of the body comes out correctly. The other thing is, since there is no time space, it's a continuum. It's very likely when there are stargates and portals, you don't disassemble. Your body of your atoms scrambling and then scrambling back. It's more of such a high energy frequency that you step into that you're just there. You're just at the next place. And then you come back to the space. It's everything that we're going through is going to be so revealed. So what would be a card for upliftment going into Sunday, going into Monday morning, until I can next time see you? Again, I'm not going to read any cards upside down as a temporary hold. Don't think that I should do that, just because when I was purposefully shuffling, it seemed like some cards were facing the other way. So I don't know that that's what I really want to do. I think I'm just going to read it straight. And our next steps, a weekend uplift. Oh, this one is really calling me, and this one is really calling me. So this one was first. Arise from the ashes of despair. Just by that title, right? We've all had disappointments or being sidetracked. We have all been bombarded, even if we're mostly happy with our DNA, feeling sick sometimes. What happens usually for me is my day will start out so wonderfully, and then at some point I get these downloads of like evil thoughts or something malevolent from old cinema films, or something that is like a film that could be a sequel to whatever I comes into me, and I feel very angry and mouthy. And a lot of it though happens in my car by myself for a few moments, even if it happens for angry and mouthy. And a lot of it though happens in my car by myself for a few moments, even if it happens for like a minute and a half, and I'll have to catch myself and say things like, okay, stop it, stop. You don't have any power over me. I do not consent. Those were not my thoughts, because my thoughts today have been really happy. So, you don't have power over me. It may seem like it, but you don't. Do not consent. I'm not going to go down that trail. And quite frankly, thank you for helping me get all my shadow out, but I'm not interested in representing, that part of the team, that part of the darkness, that part of the chaotic energy. Otherwise, I'd be doing it. I'd be a whole different show. I'm also going to read what the author said about this. So arise from the ashes of despair. And then the next one is take action. I've been speaking to people. Let's see if we can get her a little bit better, her face. Can I get her face better? There we are. Take action. And this is an interesting card in this life for me, two ways. I've been very drawn to take a look at the Amazon-supported series called Rings of Power, which if any of you had followed Tolkien and you followed the Lord of the Rings movie, so there was one ring to bind everyone, right? But there were many rings made, and I believe that this is a lot of the prelude to leading up to the Ring of Power itself, and all the rings that were created for all the kingdoms that were available that got together at the time, and which will be a prelude before the wars of Middle Earth and Sauron and all that. But I've been drawn to this fairy energy very, very strongly, very tree energy, very strongly. It's like I have a tree thing hanging in my car. I have a couple of copper necklaces with the tree symbol woven. I have a card table I'm making. There's a tree symbol in it. I have this tapestry. I have two tapestries now that have trees in them. The tree energy is very much close to me. And so I think my fairy folk, my lineage is calling me very much to represent them and listen to them. So that's what this card reminds me of. The elven folk, fairy folk. And the other part in taking action is, no matter where we are, we must speak and represent our truth. We must stand up in self-respect, whatever that is. And we may not always like that people disagree with us, or maybe we're going totally down the same lane, but then there's like we don't connect on one or two offerings, but there's so much that we connect about. Wouldn't it be great? Can't it be great that we can reach a decision where we might not agree, but the common ground is always peace and harmony. The common ground is always sharing and negotiation for upliftment of humanity, or beings everywhere, whatever beings they are, whatever planet, timeline, space dimensions. It's the harmonization of a galactic rise of the human, galactic rise of all being everywhere. So taking action a lot of times means you didn't expect to, but to rise to the occasion of taking an action, and you may not have been either prepared for it or discovering yourself that you had that withal. Sometimes taking action is holding the course, holding the line, and not necessarily doing any action. However, that can be still taking action so long as you know that your reprieve or your repose, you're being poised, then to launch yourself forward and to stand for something greater than perhaps you had known before, done before, because a lot of light is coming to many subjects, mostly meaning that I've known before, done before, because a lot of light is coming to many subjects, mostly meaning that things have been super bad on this planet, much like a science fiction movie, and that if you're very open to embrace that, a lot of people don't go down there. A lot of the woo-woos don't necessarily go down there. Some do, some don't. Um, I do go down there a little bit, and not as harshly all the time as I had in the past. And I really don't want to, because I want to stay really present in the now, and I want to surrender to organic flow. If I can lend anything tonight, it's surrender to the organic flow of what's next for you. Just surrender, give it up, just be asked to show the way. So arise from the ashes of despair and take action. So arise from the ashes of despair is a 2, which is about balance and harmony, the yin yang, the opposite of light and dark, up and down, in and out. Yep. So within, so without. This is maybe number 20. Let's find out. It does go by. There. Yep. So this is called the Glastonbury Phoenix. So I believe what's above this person's head is a phoenix rising. Glastonbury is a sacred site. I think that's where this author writes about the Grail having come down or being buried. Surrender. I just said surrender, didn't I? Feel pain, then move on. Gather your strength, take up your sword of truth, which leads to taking action. Cut away what is not needed in your life. And in this painting, inspiration comes from the enduring phoenix, who sometimes sacrifices itself for greater good to illuminate humanity. The knight contemplates this while meditating on the best course of action to take. After laying down his sword and approaching the sacred well with humility, the Grail appears to him, offering direction and a new path on a well-worn road to self-realization and enlightenment. So he too is like the phoenix rising. His mission was doing one thing, but then he meditates on the sacrifice of the phoenix. And when he meditates on his best action to take in humility and in grace, the Grail appears to him, and it offers a new direction, a new path on the well-worn road to self-realization and enlightenment. Now, for me, what if we don't have to be enlightened? What if everything we are is, because we are infinite consciousness, having an experience, so there isn't anything to necessarily go on a path of enlightenment, go on a path where, we're fulfilling something karmic. I might not be in agreement with her, I'm not sure yet on this topic, but I'm really coming to understand that if you are infinite consciousness, you are spirit. In this form, your form, having an experience, perceiving things the way you perceive, relearning and teaching and growing and sharing, and all that's in between, voices, experience. You need not come back to learn to get anything right. You're just coming back if you choose for experience. Now, if you're open to much more at this time, if you should pass away, unless you just don't know about karmic ties and such, you as a soul flying around, well, you're going to remember as a soul everything. But then you're still going to decide where you want to go and what you want to do. And it may be just a higher plane, a different dimension, not necessarily the earth plane. I don't believe that we're tethered to a lifetime after lifetime of despair to prove ourselves. If we are tethered to a lifetime after lifetime, there is no death, matter is neither created nor destroyed. You're not tethered to you wrong so much you must do right. You were half and half, you still should come back. You were very evil, so you should come back to get it better. I don't really know that it works quite that way. I do believe and know there's life after life, and we do not die. We are eternal. We are part of isness. We are isness. I think coming back anywhere is a choice, but that you are already enlightened beings, we all are, and we're just choosing to remember, or choosing to learn, or choosing to awaken and awaken. It's not that we're awakened and we stopped. We are awakening, and we're open and juicy for the correct, best, highest octave information. You're not just, I'm awakened. I know what so-and-so says on YouTube. I'm awakened. I know what they say on mainstream media, and I'm awakened because I know this XYZ of 44 people in between, or 144 people in between all over YouTube. And oh, I have my channel too. And oh, I get these like great downloads. I get these great psychic, download information. No. We are spirit having a human experience. It's an experience. Soul is part of that experience. So you are not tethered to repetitious lifetime of got to come back and get it right. I think there's a little bit more to that. And as I become more knowing and articulate better, I will share with you what I'm feeling and knowing. My life here is an example of, I may not be in the greatest mood. I may be in a great mood. I just want to be transparent for you so that you can learn too and know that all of us have value. All of us come from the infinite mind. And it's quite exciting. Our X-Men powers that radiate through our hands and orifices of what we see, what we can send. It is not limited to those who were born that way, or they born in a family and their mom showed them, or their mom was against it and it just made them learn it more, or they were battered and they were sorely abused, but it made them realize they had another realm, the other side from they've come to talk to. It's not necessarily like that for everyone. If it were like that for everyone, every single person on the planet who was abused before the age of 5 or 10 would be totally psychic, totally into their higher mind, totally be talking more or less on the same page. But we have those that become institutionalized mentally or criminally. So we label them. So there's everyone having such a diverse experience. 37 is the number one, straight as an arrow, know thyself. Number one, the beginning. Take action. I don't have my other number books with me. So we have number one. Number two is 3, mind, body, spirit. Things happening in 3s. I had 3 ants show up today. In my lemon that I squeezed. So 3, very important. A very important number 3, the third day of the week. Would you consider that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or is it Wednesday? Wednesday hump day or Tuesday? What else would be 3s? There's another 3. I don't want to say the 3, the Trinity, but that is out there for some people. That also is going to be a mind-blowing experience for us to find out about that exactly. But mind, body, spirit, the Trinity, things happening in 3s. I think it has an air of philanthropy. Let me just check. I have my phone here. Let me just go and what's symbolic of the angel number 3? Spiritual symbolism. Let's see. Do we have angel number 3? Personal guardian angel exists for each and every one of us. They are here to keep the person safe for the rest of their days. Let's see, I want to get something else here. What does number 3 symbolize? Hope and optimism. A representation of wisdom and balance. A sign of originality, openness, and openness to the world. That's a good number, right? Mind, body, spirit. happening in threes. So I guess for this weekend, be open to things happening in threes. Be open to the mind, body, spirit. Know that if you're going through an icky time, even a little or a lot, and if you're watching things where you see all kinds of things happening, floods and fires and such, just know that, like the phoenix, we're rising from the ash, and in a meditative state, there's going to be signs that point us on a path that is for our highest destiny. It is your purpose, and that there may be time to take action, and that action is happening soon all around us to uplift us and to bring this openness and this oneness and this new earth of good that was innately our divine right, is our divine right. I think that's all I'll say for tonight. In the description is how to get in touch with me. Blessings to all of you, and have a great evening, day, or afternoon, wherever you are. I hope to hear from you. Much love.